Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Magic Cash Lady talk show. This is episode number one. I'm so excited, so excited. And we are going to just have wealth conversation with the Magic Cash Lady and friends. So, this is an awesome opportunity for me to share other people's stories and their journeys about wealth, family legacy, real estate, and prosperity for God's children. It's highly important for me to include God in what I do because I could not be here without Him. He's helped me in so many ways. So I have Sam and Daniel Kwok. Sam is on the left. Wave, Sam. Y'all look
There you
like
go.
twins. And Daniel is on the right. So we are going
So,
to start out just introducing them. And as you can see, Novo Elite is their company. So we want to segue into what you guys do and how we came together, which was real estate. So introduce yourself and tell us about who you are.
okay, cool. You want to start us off? Yeah, I'll go and start. But like Tara said, my name is Sam Kwok, and I've been an entrepreneur and a business owner for about 4 years now with Dan here, and yeah, we live here in Chicago, and we actually obviously you guys can tell we're not from we're not white, so we're we moved to America about 18 years ago with our family. So as you can see, we've grown up here as kids, and now we're here, and our parents are back in Korea, and so that's just a little bit about us and a little bit about me.
Cool. Awesome. My name is Daniel. I am the younger one of the two. I'm currently 21 years old, and I started off in business around the age of 16, 17. I started off in sales. Sam and I actually both, kind of started off with MLMs, multi-level marketing companies, and we learned some skills there, but, we weren't too happy about our progress. So a friend of ours introduced us to real estate investing. And ever since then, we've been building businesses and expanding, making networks, um, and yeah, just making things happen and trying to expand the kingdom of God and whatnot. So
Awesome. And that's one thing that I loved when I met Sam. We're both PKs. We all are, including Daniel,
yeah,
because you guys are brothers, obviously. Um,
yeah,
I'm a preacher's kid. My mother's in seminary school now. My grandmothers were preachers. My dad was a preacher. So it's all in and within me. And I love that we can run our business without being told we can't mention God, the reason why we're here. So I commend you young men for really coming over here as young people and paving your own way. I see some of the things that you do online. I get to experience the mindset and the posts that Sam, I don't know why I don't get to see yours, Daniel. I need to click on your page a little bit more because you guys are synergistic. So I know you think alike, but I'm amazed by what you're doing in our real estate community, in the online social media community. I don't know how to bring up my site, but Sam and his company, I don't know how much Daniel helped, but just I'm sure he gave feedback on the MagicCashLady.com, which is I took my time on purpose because I didn't want to just throw anything out there. And I'm so very proud of the site, getting great reviews, and looking forward to having this episode be the first blog out there. Sam knows what I want to do, and we're continuing on that journey. So I want to ask you guys, when you were younger, because you're still really young, what were your parents entrepreneurs? I know your dad's a pastor. Did he run his own church? Or tell me about your experience with entrepreneurship as a child, as a younger person.
Yeah. So well, I would definitely say our dad. He didn't have the title of being an entrepreneur, but I don't think an entrepreneur needs a title to be an entrepreneur. I
No.
think it's a type of personality and spirit that you have running an organization or running a church or running a business. I think our dad definitely had the entrepreneurial spirit, knowing that he understood that nothing comes about without hard work. He understood how to manage and work and build a relationship with people. And most of all, he understood how to get results and outcome. And I think those are the top three things that, as an entrepreneur, is very, very important. And I think our dad, especially just through examples of hard work and just throughout the time, he's been able to exemplify what it means to be an entrepreneur. So I definitely took a lot of side. I took definitely a lot of learning from my dad and our dad, and I think that definitely helped and influenced both of us growing up and seeing an entrepreneurial figure and just kind of learning from him.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to echo that. I think one of the things that I personally picked up a lot from my dad is the idea of leadership and what it means to lead with compassion and love. And honestly, those universal characteristics of leadership, they apply to everywhere in life, whether it's in business, whether it's in church. And for me, when I lead my company and when I lead my team, you know, I think a lot about my father and kind of the outcomes and the challenges that he had to overcome. And ironically, you know, growing up, I mean, I was always kind of pressured to be a pastor. My dad was a pastor, and my dad really wanted one of us to at least be ministers. But I always found it ironic to kind of observe him and kind of tell myself, well, I never would have to go through those issues because I'll never be a pastor. Yet the challenges of a leader, they appear kind of everywhere.
Everywhere. And when it's your calling, when you have a relationship with God, you're going to know, because I get that, and I'm almost 40 years old. I'll be 40 this year. Not ashamed to tell my age. But when you grow up as a preacher's kid, they want at least one. They want all their kids to stay and do exactly what they did. I think that's in any field as a parent. So we have our own calling, and if that is the calling, God will reveal that to you, and you'll know when. But you guys definitely have great spirits. Your platforms online are awesome. Anyone looking for a website, social media help, capture pages, please lean on Novo Elite. I will have something, I probably will have to have Sam help me, on my website, and obviously you can connect with him through me or just reach out to him. He's everywhere. And tell them some of the things that you have learned since you started your business. I know you started young, but since you're 21 and you started at 16, Daniel, what was at 16, it's still really young. A lot of kids are still playing. So what were you thinking? I'm just going to make quick money. What was your vision at such a young age with your business and real estate?
Yeah, for me anyway, and Sam will probably echo a lot of what I say afterwards my question, but for me anyway, like I had a tendency as a kid to always want to be different. I never wanted to be like everyone else, and for me that wasn't me wanting to be better than everybody else. I just always found that people were always so competitive, and I never really understood what people were being competitive about, because I was always told that, you know, we are all God's children, we're all unique, we all have things that make us special, you know, things that don't put us above anybody else, you know, just different in God's eyes. So for me, I knew I wanted to be different. I knew I wanted to be unique, and I kind of saw a trend in what I saw, at least as a kid, of you know, my mom waking up early and coming back home late and being tired from working. And, you know, she was a piano teacher, so she gave lessons. And I just remember, you know, particular some days where she was just like, man, I really don't want to go. I want to stay here and spend time with you. And I'm just so tired. You know, I wish I could take a nap, but I can't because I have to make money. And so me, that kind of inspired me to be an entrepreneur. And I think having that being the start point for something, it really makes you focus on what God is going to teach you with that. So because I had that mindset going into it, it almost was like God was putting a spotlight on that aspect of my life, saying, let me show you what I'm going to teach you through this. And I can go on and on about the lessons that God has taught me through business and through being an entrepreneur. But I think the biggest thing that God has taught me is how to effectively communicate vision, how to effectively communicate an idea or a story, a vision or a dream to other people that may not just understand it yet. And that's fine, you know, that's not their problem, or that's not a bad thing. but they just don't see it yet.
Yeah.
So I think that has played a critical role in me as a leader. I think Sam can echo that as well. But if I were to have to pick one thing that God has taught me through my years of entrepreneurship, it'd have to be how to communicate my vision. So,
Awesome, awesome. And don't echo it, Sam. He has his answer, so yours has to be a little bit different. I know you guys are brothers, but let's just separate a little bit and give me a different perspective. You're the older one, so I'm the oldest child in my family of four siblings. So from your perspective, how did it come out for you as far as business, the lessons that wanted
mhm.
that you wanted to build on?
Sure. And I'm gonna do a little sales pitch on my upcoming book. Just to throw out
That's
there.
great.
The book, yeah, the book that I'm coming out with right now is How to Start a Business. It's a book about starting a business. It's gonna be a guide from the who, what, where, when, how. It basically covers everything. And one of the things I talk about in the first chapter I talk about is the who. The first thing that I talk about is the person you, the entrepreneur. So I share a little bit of my story of how I kind of came out, or kind of exemplify my entrepreneur trait was just basically looking through childhood. I've always been an entrepreneur. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I actually understood the concept of money and what money can do for me. And I actually took my crayon and paper and drew my own money and
Wow.
attempted to buy things from the local store with my own money that I
That's
drew.
classic.
Of course, I didn't understand that money didn't come from a piece of paper and crayon. It came from the government and the printing press. But I when I look back, I realize I've always been focused on creating results, creating some sort of business. I've always been results oriented, and my personality reflects that. So I've basically my personality and the way I speak, the way I carry myself, have been built for like an executive organization type, definitely a business entrepreneur personality. So yeah, I have to say, I guess it's really built in me. It's a gift that I got from God, and certainly I have my strengths and I have my weaknesses. But I think my strength really comes from understanding and thinking results, outcomes, and how do we get there? Being strategic.
Yeah. Yeah. Being creative. We learn in our real estate investment community how to be the three C's: creative. What is it, you guys? My brain's committed and consistent and consistent. And it's a work in progress, and you just get better and better year after year. So I'm really, really honored, very honored to be interviewing you guys because I see much. I don't know how far your vision is, but I think really big and I see a lot. And I commend all young people in the millennial age who are paving the way. That was one of the things I did not get to see a lot of in my 20s. I felt like a pioneer, at least where I came from. And now I see more of it and more young people, and I recognize it and I honor it. And I know one day I'll be like, I got to interview them on my show, my first show. I know you guys have done some big things with your companies, and I want to highlight those things as well. But I want to move into, before I do that, you mentioned your book. Um, I'm writing a book too. Mine's going to be on financial education and focused on
Hey, there
parent
we go.
entrepreneurs and showing them some things that I've been learning and just the different case studies and perspectives. The reason why I think this interview is very, very important because a lot of people, parents, don't realize how the kids are seeing them when they're growing up and the seeds that are being planted. I realize that now because I am a parent of four children. So I want parents to look at the product. Your father was a preacher. There's a lot in building a church. There's a lot in building a religious organization. And if it's to grow, it should be ran like a business. The money goes towards the people and the building and the community, but it still needs to be ran like a business. So you guys got to see that. So parents, pay attention. When you're just working a job, children will end up doing what? the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to break away from the
Right.
cycle. It's nothing wrong with the job, but it's not for everybody. And for those who want to move into entrepreneurship or see their children, plant the seeds by doing a little bit of something, showing leadership, showing vision, showing hard work ethic, working smarter, and look at the result. Look at these two young men. You guys have a couple of companies, or is it more than two? Tell us more about the companies you're running and the vision you have for your companies.
Yeah. Go ahead. Why don't you
Yeah,
explain?
so our first company that we found back in 2012, early 2012, is Zola Entertainment, and in fact, that company is a mobile DJ production company. Right now, our strategic plan with that right now is to actually sell it. So we're actually
Awesome.
looking at a pending sale right now. So yeah, so that's just part of our vision, and I don't think it fits really with what we want to do as our long-term portfolio. So if it doesn't match with our vision, if it doesn't match with what we want to do, uh, we have to face some choices. We have to face some decisions here, whether we get rid of it, liquidate it, or we trade or sell it. So right now we're looking at to sell it. We do have an end buyer interested in buying the business. The second business that we started is Nova Elite, as you guys can see in the back here, which is a multi-holding investment company. So we do real estate investing, and we're glad to be part of the same real estate investing community that Atarah is part of, which you guys, if you guys are watching this right now, you guys should probably consider. But yeah, so that company is a real estate investing company, and we do, underneath that company, we do website design, marketing consultation, management consultation, and also startup consultation.
Awesome, 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 awesome. That's amazing. I'm gonna take look at my cheat sheet here and see what I have. Germany mindset and shift daily deals. Okay, so since you started Novo Elite, I do believe I read a post about a
Mhm.
real estate deal that was no money down, multi-unit. You guys still involved in that?
Yeah. Well, that is the was that Sam's post?
I don't know. Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah.
actually is the deal involving our production company, Zola Entertainment. So
Oh.
we didn't have to pay any money down. We didn't have to
Right,
use any credit. So it worked out very well for us actually.
Okay,
right.
so let me understand this. So you had a company. Okay, so you guys have been building
Mhm.
that company out. I believe you guys did weddings and all kind of events, and a lot of that stuff is still out there for people to see because you have very good talents. I think I heard you singing, Daniel. I think there was a post with the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got
Yes, ma'am.
it. Awesome voice, awesome energy. So you have other talents and passions, and you took that, and now you're able to sell that opportunity. These are strategies, and these are things I want people to understand and see. Everybody's situation is different. And you have the general information that's given to you, and then you strategize and customize to what's going on in your life. And for you, you said, okay, this is something I love to do, but I don't want to use it and focus on that anymore. You want to go into Novo Elite even more. And so you sold that to get your first. Is this your first real estate deal? Or have you done other
Uh,
wholesale deals or something like that?
yeah, we've done really minor deals, nothing huge. Of course, just doing binders and bird dogging. But this will be our, I guess, our major real life deal, so to speak. So yeah, we're excited to get involved, and we're glad that we were able to build a track record of this first business and being able to trade something into what fits into our vision. So. It's interesting that company, the first company we started, we invested $600 out of
Wow.
my personal credit card, and now we've been able, and 4 years later, we're now able to trade it for something massive.
Awesome. So again, that's a no money down strategy. So you just said that you
Right.
took $600, you borrowed. You used the
Mm-hmm.
credit card company's money. And these are the
Mm-hmm.
things I want people to understand because people say no money down. That's not real. Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. You can do bird dogging, but that means to actually go out and find a deal for someone else, driving for dollars, and then you take that deal to a wholesaler who gives you a finder's fee anywhere from between 500 and 1,000. On a single family home, if it's a bigger deal, they could do 5 or 10. It just depends on the size of the deal. So you did that with your business. You took no money down and grew that into a major company that you can now sell and have assets in your new company. Very, very awesome strategy. So I want people to be taking notes and writing about that. And if you have questions, you can send them or go on my site, and which is the MagicCashLady.com, and I'll be glad to get them answered or connect you with Daniel and Sam so we can find out more. These two young men are sharing in the community. They're out there in Chicago, and when I saw them on teaching, I don't know, it was probably over 100 people in the Chicago community. I said, Daniel, Sam, help me, help me do this. And every time
I remember that actually.
Yeah.
I remember it was about a year ago. It was a Super Saturday training, and I spoke about an outlet, and you messaged me, and I said, yes, let's do it.
Yes. Yes. And you both messaged me. I end up working with Sam, but I remember Daniel saying it's not overnight, which I knew. I have some history in the business, and I just wanted to be connected with the people in our community that understood what I was trying to do, and you got that, and you're serving a lot of people. And when you do that, awesome things just happen. You don't even have to worry. They line up for you. That is the law of reciprocity. That is, you reap what you sow. We learned that as preachers' kids, even if you're in the church, or you reap what you sow. So I want to talk about how you give back and how it makes you feel in doing that, because I think there's more feeling. It's not so much of what I'm going to get out of it when you have a giving spirit. So talk about that, you two.
Yeah, I'm going to let Sam talk about that first, because I think he's going to include that in his book, so I want to make sure he talks about that.
Well, I think it's whether it's in or out of my book, I think it's just a universal fundamental law that all of us, human beings, and the spirits, we were meant to give. And there's a unique, and you can test this, yourself, for those guys who are watching this. When you decide to give, and when you decide to contribute to something, there's not of course a reward right away, but in a long-term scheme there really is. And I don't usually give or contribute knowing that there's a reward or some sort of a benefit at the end, but I think more so we're meant to give because Jesus, our Lord, was the first person to give to us. He gave us his life, and he basically gave up his life to forgive our sins. And I think we kind of remodel that, and when we act out of that faith, I think there's a universal law that things start to attract to us, and the more you give, the more you receive. And of course, you don't want to go in and expect that you're going to get something out of it, but more so, you're adding value to someone else's life. You're adding value to someone else's spirit. You're also adding value in that act. A value to the Lord's kingdom. You're not just doing it for the physical realm, but also there's an unseen addition to the God's kingdom. And as representatives of God and our faith, I think it's really important to act out and give, contribute, despite the fact that we might not even see it coming back in this lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me anyway, giving has always just been, in the Bible it talks about, Jesus says, give to Caesar what is Caesar and give to God what is God's. And if we take a look at our lives, really everything that we are is God's. We are God's creation. We were made to praise and worship him. And for me, giving has just always been blessing others, what God has blessed me with. And I think that when a lot of people, Christians included, look at giving, the first thing they think of is money. But a lot of experiences in my past have shown me that oftentimes giving was something else, such as like giving your time, giving your knowledge, or even giving your talents. It can be a lot more than money. For example, I remember when I was about a freshman, sophomore in college, and I was traveling around, I was leading worship, And I remember there was a church in Eureka, Illinois, and they didn't have a worship pastor at the time, but the pastor was like, well, we need a worship leader, and our church is a little down in finances. So I remember I drove about every weekend to that church, and it was about an hour and a half drive, and I remember I led worship. I stayed at the pastor's house, and I drove back Sunday morning, and I think the only thing I got was like gas money, but really for me that was when I truly learned about what serving meant. And I think a lot of people I feel like as Christians we are challenged, and it's our duty to give not only with what we're comfortable with, but to give with things outside of our comfort zone. So that's what I have learned about giving, and obviously the learning about giving and being a good steward will never stop.
Absolutely. You get better. It becomes a part of you. I host a cash flow game on Sunday nights to bring people.
Yep.
It's absolutely free for people to come, and you can find out about it at the at meetup.com, Urban Investors Money Club. I don't know why my mind is doing that, but that's where it's at, and hopefully soon I'll have it on my site. Or if you message me, you can find out, or come to Magic Cash Lady Speaks online. In the game, in the cash flow game, which was created by Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he put a spot in the rat race. You go around this rat race, and you have this specific job, but one of the things you land on is charity. And whenever I play with someone new, or even if I've played with them before, I always wait. When I play, I teach lessons from my viewpoint and my experiences and things I've learned. And on that game, when they land there, I just wait. Even with my kids, when they first play, they were like 10%, especially when you have a janitor job. And I was like, yes, that's 300 some dollars. I don't have that much money. I'm like, okay, that's where the lesson comes in, because people think rich people are greedy. No, they're not. A lot of rich people, they've come from the bottom. They remember, or their family has, and their family has paved the way, and maybe they were inherited. So they know, like you, that giving it's just a part of it. It's not, you just do it. And in the game, when you give up that 10%, you get to play with 2 dice, which obviously gets you around the board faster. So you get more opportunities, you get more paychecks. So I point that out to people, and then they want to give. They're like, oh, I get more if I give. Whereas I've learned, like you, Daniel, my lessons were taught from my father, we didn't have much, but we had a lot.
Yeah.
We were wealthy in spirit. I didn't know we were as poor as we were till I grew up. I didn't know. And so I saw him giving, people living with us, and I'm like, our lights are out. We have somebody staying here, our lights are not on. So those type of things I witnessed, and I just saw, and it's part of my spirit. I love to give. It's actually a good, I get the chill feeling when I'm able to do so. So I really appreciate that you guys have that mindset. I want to ask about now my notes, which are on my phone. Now I want to ask, we shared some about the real estate deals. I want to talk more about, are you using real estate to get you to a bigger vision, in either in serving or in business? Or is that vehicle, even though it's a really nice vehicle, are you using it to get to something bigger, something else that you're passionate about?
Sure. Yeah. So my vision right now, and this has been my vision for the past couple of years, and it has never changed. By the way, I think your vision should never change, because your vision is it should be aligned with God, and it should be a one-time thing. It is your life's calling. And if your vision is small, I'd say make it bigger. But my vision always has been is to retire early. So whether that's 35, 25 or 30, my goal says 35. So my vision is to retire by 35, and I want to travel the world, planting churches, building hospitals, building schools, building homes for the homeless and the disadvantaged people, and most importantly, help businesses grow. And if you help businesses grow, your local economy is going to get better. So that is my vision. and I plan to use real estate as the vehicle to get there. And I think it's a great way, and I think our our legislative regulations, our economic benefits are all pointing fingers, or I should say, pointing at real estate as one of the best tools to build wealth, one of the best tools to build income, and one of the best ways to pass down your legacy and also help your family too. So I would say that is my vision, and yes, I would definitely use real estate to that capacity, if not more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For me, real estate and what that contributes to my vision. I have Sam definitely knows this, but I have a lot of crazy goals, goals that are just honestly just out there. But ultimately, one of my biggest goals I've always had in life was to start a charity organization, and I think the three of us, quite honestly, share the same past and the same upbringing. My brother and I, we weren't as fortunate growing up. There were a lot of times where, and of course we didn't know this as kids. We didn't know that we grew up. I just remember, I just thought that was normal for everyone.
Yeah.
But my goal is to start a charity dealing with inner city hunger. That's a cause that I'm very passionate about. And my vision and how real estate ties into that is I want rental properties powering my charity organizations. Instead of charity organizations, my charity would completely depending on the donation, because I'm sure you can agree that a lot of charity organizations and a lot of not-for-profit companies that do really good work within communities, they fail because lack of funds, lack of donations, and I never want that to be the case. I never want God's will to be deterred
Right.
by finances. I never want somebody saying, "Oh wow, I wish I can go on that mission trip and really impact the people over there, but I don't have the money to pay for it." So that's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I see real estate and investing in real estate having that income source be an excellent way to keep my nonprofit organization up and running, continuing to expand, impacting not just the Chicago community, but communities globally. And who knows, most likely my nonprofit organization will partner with what Sam's doing, and he can build the communities, and we can work something out there. But I definitely see investing in real estate contributing to that. And I love how Sam brought up that a lot of legislators point real estate investing as one of the key ways to build wealth. One of the research done as of late this past year is that out of the top 1% wealthiest people in the world, about 74% of those people got wealthy through investing in real estate.
You're right.
And that statistic, in fact, is universal all throughout research. And sure, your percentages might be up in maybe range about 72 to 76, but there's no doubt that a high majority of people who are wealthy got there by investing in real estate. That's no question, right?
Absolutely amazing, and definitely want to stay connected because one of the things people don't realize when they hear, and that's why I'm doing this show, so that my brand, my vision, personality can be shown, and people don't get hung up on the get rich quick when they hear the Magic Cash Lady, because there's a mindset that says, oh yeah, give me some money or make me some money fast. That's not who I'm attracting, fortunately, because I do believe in the law of attraction and the law of vibration, and God, he sends and puts me together with the right people who understand that, and they're like, oh, that's cool. You have that, and that you're bold enough to put it out there. It's pretty fun to do. So one of the things you said about the inner city kids and the issues with homelessness, I don't like talking about it because it's really sad. Over the holiday we seen families. We went to it. We're out here
Yeah.
in the suburbs of the Atlanta area, and Atlanta's about 45 minutes away, and so we went there for the holiday, and we were outside, and there were families. Now I hadn't seen that except on television. I've seen a lot of homeless men and very few women. And I've been to Vegas, California, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and I guess Atlanta has families. And so, of course, we reached out to help where we could, but we would like to make sure every year from this year, starting this year, and that's in the process. I'm like you, Daniel, and I've always been like that. Big dreams, big dreams, big dreams. And the important thing that I learned was implementation, which you guys are doing. And I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And I want to have a home. I want to be able to raise enough money either through my investing and create at least one home to give away. I don't know how I'm going to do that or how we'll come together, but I want to put it out there so that it will happen so I can find that family for that home. So I know God gave us that vision because people need it. So I'm on board with what you guys are doing. So anytime as we get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, always reach out. Every little bit counts. And of course, I want to be able to share the word with the people through the show and the different things I'm doing. I want to see, I want to kind of go into, we're getting ready to go to this awesome real estate investment nationals with hundreds of like-minded people. I have not been. You guys, did you guys go to last year's?
No, no, no. We came in after that.
But okay, so I was like right there. I was like that week I was coming in. I didn't know what was going on, but everybody was gone, and I was like, okay. And then I saw it online, and I said, next year I'm going to all the major events. And so now I get to go. I'm so excited. I want to talk about how much fun it is building for that event. And you guys are right there with our leaders. I want to just mention them because they're so awesome. Scott and Nancy Rowe, they are changing lives, being themselves. Scott is growing before and changing before our eyes. His personality is amazing at what he's done. What is the excitement like there being with all of them? I don't get to go to the meetings here as much. I know you guys are there a lot. Tell us about that. Tell the people how these people are loving and kind and that they're not just rich fools.
Sure, sure. I hope Scott's watching this, and Nancy too, and Bob, and all the rest of the band members, founder advisory board members. I hope they're all seeing this. I would say that my first impression, actually my first exposure to our community was a tax and legal workshop with Mark Kohler, who's a attorney and CPA and an instructor to our community. And I think that workshop alone blew my mind. And not even just Mark, but walking into the building in Chicago, our office, our community office, I felt a sense of belonging. I definitely felt the love. I definitely felt appreciation in the building itself. I mean, there were so many people who were welcoming, people who were shaking my hand, coming and approaching me to say hello. And I think, there's a lot of reasons why people join our community, our real estate community. And yes, there's the money, there's the income benefit, there's the knowledge. But I think a lot of people join not because of the money, but also because of the people. And something that Scott would normally say is they will come to the community, they will walk into the community with the expectation of building wealth, but they stay there because of the people. And they find the reasons beyond just money to be part of the community, and that's what I believe today. Despite, of course, we're making a lot of money, we're generating a lot of income, and we're building our wealth through real estate and the opportunity that the community is offering. But I think that the real value is the people that we got to know, especially like Atarah and the rest of the FAB members. I think the people that we got to know was far more valuable than being able to make extra 1,000, 10,000 weekly. So I would really recommend for those people who are watching who are not part of our community, just to come and just hang out with us. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about making money. Just come and hang out with us. And the love, the appreciation we have for people will rub off, and you'll feel it. It's very contagious.
Yeah, and just to add on to what he said. Honestly, probably for me anyway, the biggest thing that attracts me about not just this national community but the Chicago team is that we have a culture of winning. Eric Thomas, the great motivational speaker, said winners win, losers lose.
Yeah.
And with these people every Thursday, every Saturday, every event, I'm hanging out with winners, and that only implies that maybe I'm a winner.
Maybe,
So
maybe you
right,
are. You
right.
both are.
Who knows, man? Well, being part of the Chicago team, being with great mentors, like Scott and Nancy, and Bob, and getting to know them so well, and especially Gene. I don't know, Gene is probably, man, this is a little controversial to say, but I think Gene just might be one of my favorites.
Oh wow. Oh, this is
Favorite.
on tape. So, Gene, you heard that. You guys heard
Yeah,
that.
I know.
So,
But honestly, just being part of the Chicago team, it's honestly like being part of the '96 Bulls.
yeah.
You know, the culture of winning, and there's expectations and there's standards. People push each other,
Yes.
and we get to know each other obviously, and that's great and all. But for me anyway, the biggest thing that I love about this national community, but also the Chicago team is, there is a culture of excellence, and everybody is pushing towards excellence. Nobody is settling for anything less than excellence, and quite honestly, I think that's it's our natural human tendency to plateau, but the people in my community, people I call my family. I know that they'll keep me accountable. I know that they'll never let me plateau. I know that they're always going to require excellence out of me, especially Gene. But that's what I love. It's a culture of winning. It's excellence is the standard, and it's just a positive energy all around.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm still here. I'm still here because of Danietta's. She is directly with Scott and on the executive, and she serves a lot there. And usually speak with her every single day, sometimes a couple of times a day. When I first came in, she just gave me a platform of like 60 something people, and I was like, okay, but I was ready. I was ready. And then now I'm showing her, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and even pushing your own brand. What I love about our real estate investment community is that if you have a vision and you want to be a public speaker, if you want to be someone who teaches or just serves, whatever it is, you can, and you can do real estate. You can build your own brand. And I encourage all of the community members to take note about branding yourself. And that's the journey that I'm on, so that people can understand it's okay. Create your own family brand. Brand yourself so people can understand they can do the same thing. It is work, but it's definitely worth it. And we're part of something that is phenomenal. I want to take an opportunity here on recording to thank Bob. I'll get to thank him many times because I'm going to be interviewing a lot of our team members and our family. And I'm sorry, you guys. I talk with my hands, and I know I'm gonna be like.
Oh no, you just can't get on the screen,
I just keep seeing. I'm looking at you, but I keep seeing my hands fly. But I talk with my hands, so maybe if I hold them down here, it won't interfere with the webcam. But I'm just grateful. Anybody that has met me in this community, I'm always saying that. But you guys, woo! I'm so grateful. I've been in real estate a long time, 2001, seen the good, and I've seen the bad. And now I feel like God gave Bob a vision to save people, not just with money, but their spirits and becoming a better person. The people, the leadership team, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm so grateful. Did we leave anything out? Oh, okay. One last thing, because I want people to know that we study. You guys are not just this. We didn't just wake up and, oh, I want to do real estate. Yeah. There's a process, okay? And the magic happens behind the scenes when we're studying. Talk about your experiences with the education inside our real estate investment community.
Right. I would definitely have to say, just because you become part of the community and a member doesn't mean, you're magically next day going to be reborn into this business, genius. Neither of us, Daniel and I, we had zero experience in business. I always thought real estate investing was for, old people with gray hair and, they got this, glasses thing going. But, I always didn't imagine myself to be in real estate. And quite honestly, I was scared. I was intimidated by the fact that some of these, people who are working with real estate would, spend, thousands of dollars into their business. So, real estate was really never in my realm of vision, nor was it a part of my plan. But when I understood what real estate could do for our vision, and of course, most importantly for God's vision for us, I immediately said yes. I made the decision to say yes, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. You know, I honestly didn't know what was going to happen. But I think the best thing that I do, and it's both a weakness and a strength of mine, is I just decide and figure it out later. So I became part of the community. I started studying. I learned one by one. And again, I didn't have all the time in the world. And I know some of you guys are working your day job, 9 to 5, and you guys have families and you guys have to take care of the kids and whatnot. But you know, I was in a similar situation where I was full-time student in school. I had, you know, the business that I was already running, and you know, a lot of things, you know, life just happened. So what I did is I took a little bit of time that I had, whether it was 15 minutes or 30 minutes, started taking notes, studying, listening to the education that the community offers, even to a point where I downloaded it into an MP3 and I listened to it while I was driving. You know, driving back and forth to Chicago would take time, so I would just sit and drive, listen to the classes, and that's how I did it. And today, you know, I have more time, I have more choice when it comes to, you know, studying, and now I'm not bothered by not having enough time.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if we're talking about the education and the process, for me, it was just a lot of patience, because I mean, for me, I'm the type of person that's like when I learn something, I just want to know it all. Like I want to know it all as soon as I can,
Yeah.
and I just want to devour the subject. But obviously, real estate investing, like people don't realize, it's not something you learn in one day. It's not something you can learn at a 3-day boot camp. You know, that's impossible. You know what I mean? If you do, then you're kind of some cyborg that came from the future. You know.
Yeah.
But for me, like I'm a slow learner. Like you know, I'll admit it, I'm a slow learner. So it took me a while to kind of you know, check out and kind of rewatch the classes. But you know, that process in itself, it did teach me one thing, which is discipline. And when you are a professional, when you are learning something, and when you are trying to master something, whatever it is, whether you know it's guitar playing or piano playing, you have to have patience and you have to have discipline. I truly believe that discipline is the cornerstone of excellence. And for me, when I think about doing deals and doing real estate and doing business in general, you know, I want to do it with excellence. I want to do it knowing that I took the time to learn the fundamentals, and I didn't take any shortcuts. So for me, that was the process in learning how to invest in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys shared a lot of nuggets. That discipline thing is one that I'm a work in progress. God is not through with me yet. So certain things you get right away, and certain things you just you got. It takes longer. It just takes longer. But we're involved in something that is much bigger than us. It's going to bless people internationally across the world, and I'm glad because Bob includes his faith, and that right there was a big attraction for me. You can make money in real estate without being here, but can you sustain it? Can you become a better person? I was in real estate before, and honestly, at that time, I was like telling God, I'll be back to you when I make this money. Because as I was like, I'm going to work hard. I have to do some things. I don't really have time. I still believed in him, but what happened, what God knows your heart. I did a full circle, and the information I kept running into kept talking about God. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm reading a book about wealth, and you're talking about God? What? So I know you study our real estate investment education, but for those who are not involved, what are something that they can do to help them understand wealth, leaving a legacy for their family, things that you've read that are not
Right.
just directly. I know we have all of that in our community. I'm grateful, but they don't have that. And I want them to leave this show and go grab a book or come and join us at a meeting and connect with us in some way. But what else do you read and study?
Well, first of all, if you guys are, for those who are watching, if you have not considered participating or being a member of our real estate investment community, and I have not had any previous finance or entrepreneur experience. Well, if a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old can do it, I think just about anyone can do it. And before joining the community, yeah, I was in a business, and I did definitely emphasize in personal development, and I do it to this day. And that's one thing I talk about in my book is personal development is the key fundamental to growing yourself, and you really need to ask yourself, do I want to still have the same problem that I'm facing today next year? And do I want to upgrade my problems, right? We all want to upgrade to bigger problems because bigger problems also come with bigger rewards. So in order to face those challenges and to those bigger problems that's gonna be unfolded, I think we all need to understand that you as a person need to grow, and you can't just be stuck with the same mindset all day long or all year long. In fact, and yearly I check myself and I do an honest review or an assessment. Am I solving different problems, better problems today versus last year at the same time, the same day? And if the answer is no, then I've yet to, I've got to grow. I have to keep growing, not just physically, but also mentally, aspirationally. I got to face different challenges every day because that's one way to grow your business. And I think it's a great way to grow your business because, as a person, you are the responsible person to grow your business. If the person who's not, the person responsible is not doing a good job of growing, then your business is going to be stuck. It's not going to grow. So I think Daniel is definitely going to emphasize that too. Just him being able to understand different aspects as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, a little nugget of what kind of just the realization that I got about this topic was I remember for me, one of my biggest epiphanies and kind of thinking to myself, wow, maybe I am on the right track. Maybe I have had some success so far. Because, for me, I'm always really hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist. I have to do everything, to a T. Which is strange because I'm not a very detail-oriented person, but more so I'm a perfectionist. Like, I have to do everything, like, greatly. Otherwise, I get mad at myself. But I think one of the epiphanies that I've had as growing up was, I think this was about last year or so, I was catching up with a high school buddy of mine, and he said, like, bro, you changed a lot. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I don't know, just the way you think, the way you talk, like, you just change. And for me, I love that. I love that. I went back home with a big smile on my face because I knew that to be perfect is to change constantly. And I think a lot of success mentors say, the ideal definition of perfection is to constantly change. And for me, what it means to be constantly changing is to constantly be growing in the Lord. That is my personal definition of change, to always be having God change me, change my heart, change my mind, change my soul. And that's why, I always wake up and I always make sure I spend time with God, and I never put a limit on it. So like some people say I always spend 5 or 10 an hour with God. Well, for me, like I don't try to put a cap on it. Some days it's 5 minutes. One day it was an hour. Another day it was an hour and a half. So whatever it takes for me for God to change me constantly, for me that's my personal development. And I absolutely endorse that because whoever had the idea of that learning and living life stops after you graduate college, that is just the biggest lie that anyone has said. I want to be learning till the day I die, like to the day I, join Christ in heaven. I want to keep learning, and I want to keep changing and constantly be thinking new thoughts. And like Sam said, I want to be having new circumstances. I want to always be, upgrading. Not necessarily upgrading, but I constantly want to be moving forward, so to speak.
Updating, not necessarily upgrading, but updating, and that is something you can do. And you said something that was about perfection, and one of the things that my dad would preach. He's no longer with us. I want to give a shout out to Bishop Otis P. Dawson. I love you, Daddy. And my brother, Sergeant Ezra Dawson, who was also a youth minister. One of the things he would preach with perfection is God sees us, no matter how we are, no matter who it is, perfect. And you have to be okay with that. We have this society, man's, way you look and all these different things and our own idea of what perfection is. But God sees us perfect just the way we are. And he wants us to serve him, and he will make us even better so that people will glorify him like we are. I'm so very grateful that we can include that. You just don't know. And I've had people tell me, well, maybe you shouldn't say that, please. No, 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 no. God has done too much for me to not give him the glory, especially at this point in my life. And bringing the real estate investment organization, you guys came through that. I wouldn't know you. Well, maybe because I'm in business, but I wouldn't have met you as soon as I've met you without this organization that Bob Snyder put together to help us all. He's an amazing person, a very humble man. It's amazing to be around people like that and have that type of leadership all the way down. I've experienced great things. I do want to thank you guys for coming here and sharing and being the #1 show. What's funny is, Sam, your posts, a lot of your posts encouraged me. One of the posts was about the man who didn't live his dreams. And a part of that story and my outlook on it is going to be in my book. So you shared that, and I got to writing and talking into I'm telling you, I was like, people need to know that you can't give up. And he put that story out there. I actually want to find him and see if he changed or what happened. I don't know if it was just somebody that wrote that, but you put that out there and you said your message about it, and it touched me. And I want to carry that on and give that to other people, because he even said, listen, don't give up on your family, yourself, because he just was living. So people, parents, children, stop just being a zombie. Join people who have life and energy. That's one thing I'm very grateful for. A lot of people say you have a great energy. I choose to. I have down days too, like we all do, but I choose to make sure that my environment and the people that I'm around have good energy. And if you don't, you're really not around me. So those people who are looking, well, why haven't I seen you? Because, honey, your energy is not good. And I'm not afraid to say that. You need to change that and become a better person. And I really appreciate that you guys are doing that. Keep paving the way. I want to have you back on the show. I want to continue this down the road and support you as much as I can so we can bring more people into our community, learning about wealth, real estate, family legacy, and prosperity for God's children. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you.
Thank
You. Yeah, thank you so much.